Welcome to Wellsprings of Faith. My name is Father Liias. I am a Roman Catholic priest. I live here in the Melrose community, but serve at the staff at St. Patrick's Parish in Stoneham, our neighboring community. Our program, Wellsprings of Faith, looks at religious faith and the journey of faith in a person's life and the fruit of that faith in their lives and in the life of our world. Today I welcome a relatively new friend that I've gotten to know recently, Deacon Tam Tran. He is a deacon working on the staff of St. Teresa's Parish in North Reading. He's an immigrant from Vietnam. We'll hear that story. And also a nuclear engineer. So I trust we can perhaps spend some time speaking about the relationship between faith and science. Welcome.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you.
For giving me an opportunity.
Yeah, my joy. I'm kind of anxious to hear your story. So, that's the first thing I want to ask you, your own journey in faith from childhood to now. So, go back as far as you want.
Okay. First, I was born in the north of Vietnam.
North Vietnam.
And then we moved.
What year were you born?
1950.
50, okay.
So then 1953, 54, the Vietnam split into two countries.
Okay.
So I followed my family, moved to the south.
Oh, you became a refugee from the north to
Correct.
the south. Ah.
And then later on I become a refugee to America.
Yes.
And then if we become refugee again, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go.
Well, I wanted to, I'm a refugee too, but I came from Germany. My family, my parents were refugees from Eastern Europe at the end of World War II.
Yeah.
They came to what became West Germany. That's where I was born. And then we became refugees to the United States. So we have a similar early childhood.
Anyway. We don't know where to go next, though.
I know. Well,
we better keep
we
this
hope
country.
The kingdom of heaven.
Okay. And then only 2 years later, my father died.
Ah.
So
What made your family move from the north to the south?
my family doesn't want to live under communist system.
Was there a lot of migration at that
About
time?
1 million people moved from the north to the south.
And they were kind of free to move, or was it
difficult?
Yeah,
that they have to. They don't want to live in the communist system, so they move.
Under communism.
So we moved to the south. So when my father died, I was only 6 years old.
Only 6 years old.
So I was 6, and then 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1 6 month pregnant.
Oh, there are 5 or 6
6 kids.
Wow.
And I was the oldest one.
Suddenly you at 6 years old with a man in the family, huh?
Yes. That was a tough on me because my mother said, Tim, I love you, but I cannot feed all 6 kids. My mother only got like 6th or 7th grade in school.
Oh.
So my mother said, look, you got to find some food by yourself.
Really?
So I was literally kicked out of the house because my mom said, look, you have to find your own food. So my mother connect with some people in the village and say, look, can you take him? And then so he work for you.
Wow.
Then he can have something to eat, but I cannot feed all 6 kids.
Wow.
So we don't have any relative because we moved to the south.
Yeah, you're
relative. So what happened is I did not go to school at all because I got to work from 6 to 11 years old, 5 years, no school. But I never gave up in school though. My job was carry water. I got 2 buckets of water. I have to wait in the fountain.
Yes.
And then, but it's a long line because our whole village only one place to pick up the water.
Yeah.
So I had to wait. So I pay my friend to move my bucket up. So I run to school.
Oh.
I stay outside the window and I learn how to read and write from the window.
Really?
Yeah, for 5 years though.
Wow.
So I learned how to read and write.
And then you ran back to get in line?
I had to go back in line, and run another 15 minutes and go back in line. I keep doing that all day long.
Wow.
So I know how to read and write. So my level.
And what were you learning? Read and write Vietnamese?
Yeah, that was in Vietnam.
Yeah,
it's a very small village in Vietnam.
But they were also in those, South Vietnam was French-speaking, wasn't it?
No. Only the educated people who
Only
speak French.
educated people.
But the poor people like me don't know how to
Just the
speak.
Vietnamese.
No. So what happened is, and my aunt one day visit me, and she was surprised that how come you don't never go to school but you know how to read and write. so you really like school, right? I said, yes, I love school. And then she said, okay, I give you the opportunity to go to school, but with one condition. I will adopt you, but after school you have to work for me because otherwise I don't have enough money to feed you.
Oh.
She's as poor as my mother too.
Yeah.
And so I say, okay, I take the deal. So she sent me to school. So I go to school on third grade. And I go all the way, back in 1 year, I go all the way to the fifth grade.
Fifth grade, you tripled the promotion.
Yeah, I go through it because I read everything there.
Yeah.
But after school, I go to work at the bus station for selling cigarettes, chewing gum,
Yeah.
you know, all that stuff, so I can subsidize a little bit money that my aunt spent on me.
Yes.
But I always first in my class.
Wow.
And then I keep going until I graduated from high school. And I got scholarship to go to America.
Oh.
But getting a scholarship to go to America is like landing on the moon. Yeah, because we have, every year the government only sponsor about 150 students to go overseas.
Yes.
But 100 of them come from a rich family,
Yes.
the son of the general, the son of CEO, the son of that, so the daughter of this, all 100.
Yeah.
So we only got 50 left for poor people to
Like
get
you.
in there. Yeah, to get in there. So I got in there.
Wow.
And I had permission to go like France, Canada, Italy, Japan, but I picked America
Oh, you did.
because there's a Statue of Liberty. That's all I know
That's
about
all you
America.
knew.
It's a
That
Statue of
statue,
Liberty. So
That statue lured you.
I'm going to go for
wow.
America. I'm not going anywhere else.
So the government paid for you to come
Yeah.
to school. So they did too. So,
So no, but what happened is when I just got here, the government announced that they run out of money. So either I'm on my own or I have to go home. I say, look, I'm on my own.
this is the story of your life, of repeating afterwards, struggling on your own.
Yeah, I'm not going to go back.
Yeah.
The reason there because in Vietnam there's a drafting system.
Oh.
So at 10th grade, if you take a national test,
Yeah.
8 subjects, close the book in 3 days. If you don't pass and then you go to the army, you become a private, nothing.
Yeah.
If you pass, you go on to the 11th grade. In the same time, 11th grade, they take a national test again, 3 days, 8 subjects, closed book, and they only take 30%. So if you pass the 10 and you fail the 11, you go to the army, you become a sergeant.
Oh.
So you pass it and you go to the 12, you take another test again, 30%. So the boys have to go army, but the girl can stay home.
Yeah.
So the boy is past 11, go to 12, but flung on the 12, join the army, he become a second lieutenant. And then you go to college,
Right.
and you have to pass every single year.
Yeah.
And you don't pass, you join the army,
join
you
the
become
army.
you become the first lieutenant.
Yeah. Wow.
Even you graduate from college, like a doctor or a lawyer, you
Right.
still have to join the army.
So you stayed in the States, so you wouldn't have to go through all that.
I say, look,
Yeah.
I don't want to join the army.
Yeah.
I don't want
So
anything.
where'd you go to school here?
I went to University of Michigan.
Oh, Michigan. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's a great school. One
yeah,
of
it's
the
a-
finest American schools.
Yes,
too.
that's one of the top
Yes.
Big Ten.
Right.
But the
Where and how did you learn English?
I learned as I get when I first got here, I didn't speak one word in English.
word.
I have a little tiny dictionary.
Yeah.
If I want to go anywhere, I open a dictionary and ask people to point the words, and then I can read. So, but I don't understand anything.
Right.
So I got to University again, and I took all math and science, but I did not take any social study or anything to do with reading and writing.
Okay.
Anything to do with math and chemistry and,
Yes.
and physics, and I'm very good at that. So I survived like a first 6 months or a first 12 months, so I don't need to learn much. But in the meantime, I learned English. And the best thing to learn English is I watched the General Hospital because they speak slowly,
Ah.
and then they speak very simple words,
Yeah.
and they express it at their face. So even you don't know the word, but you can guess what they mean.
Right. Right.
So I learned so much from that.
Oh, interesting.
So what happened is after a year, I couldn't afford to stay at Michigan because every semester it costs $2,400 in 1971, 72.
Yeah.
So I washing dishes. So I cannot wash even 1,000,000 dishes. I won't be able to not pay enough making the money to
Right,
pay for
right.
that. So I say, I have to find another school. So I went to library and looked for the cheapest school in the whole country and still rated competitive for engineering.
Yes.
So what happened, I find out University of Massachusetts Lowell.
Oh.
That was the cheapest school in the whole country. USA, and still competitive, rated competitive. So I transferred to Lowell
Yes.
for chemical engineering.
And in all this, you were pretty much alone, yes?
All by myself, nobody.
No family,
No rich uncle.
no rich uncle, and
None.
you're just negotiating the whole systems,
The
figuring
whole
out
thing.
no country, new language.
That's it.
All of that, just as a young man in your early 20s.
Yeah, 18, 20, yeah.
Wow. My gosh.
So what happened is I go to Lowell and I study chemical engineering because I applied to go to chemical engineering in Vietnam. The reason I do that because when you apply to go overseas, a lot of Vietnamese apply for a doctor, apply for electrical engineer, but nobody knows about chemical engineering.
Oh.
So I apply there, then I have my chance to go to get pick up and go much bigger.
Yeah.
I don't want to compete with 120 electrical engineering.
Right.
So chemical engineering go 1 or 2, so they got to pick me. So that's why I picked chemical engineering, but I didn't know anything about chemical engineering.
Now, in all these years, was there any interest in religious faith or spirituality?
There's no time to think about
No time
anything.
about just
Just survive.
Yeah. So tell us how you found Christ and how did that
Yeah,
happen?
wait,
You'll get there.
I will get to that. That's very interesting thing. What happened is this: I was Buddhist. I know Buddhist very well because I always follow my mom to go to the pagoda.
Okay, so you did have a Buddhist background.
and all that stuff. So I get here. So I studied chemical engineering, and what happened during my class on the second year, I took one class in nuclear engineering. And the teacher only gave out 2 A+, and I got 1. And the dean of the College of Nuclear Engineering said, Tim, why don't you come over here? Forget about chemical engineering, go to nuclear engineering, because I want some good student over here.
Yeah.
I say, Professor, I cannot do that because my government would not stamp my passport.
Oh.
Because I cannot change my major. I have to go back and then come back again. I cannot do that. So the only way is I can do it, I do both. But with your permission, though, I cannot do it by myself.
Yeah.
So a week later, the dean said, Tim, I let you do both.
Wow.
So I'm the only one in the whole school that can do both
Chemical and nuclear engineering.
very, very difficult
Yeah.
subject. So normally people take like 5 or 6 classes, so who have full time.
Yeah.
I take 10.
Oh my gosh.
And in the meantime, I work 32 hours a week for at night from 12 midnight to 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I work 34 hours a week.
Wow.
Yeah. So then I go home, stay up all night, and go to school, and then sleep, and then work, and then the next day stay up all night again, and all that stuff. So all 4 years, but I still got both degrees in the 4 years.
Wow.
So
Both degrees.
yeah,
Wow.
and a very difficult one.
Yeah, yeah.
So my job is to work on a distillation column. You know what distillation column is?
No.
They have a waste chemical.
Yes.
They bring it in. They have methylene chloride. They have ethanol, all mixed in the drum as a waste.
Ah.
So we boil it because they all evaporate at different temperature.
Oh.
That's why we separate them out.
Yes.
So we burn it, we boil it, and then a vapor come up. We cool it. We got one chemical, and the next one we cool it down. We got another chemical. So we process the waste from waste.
And then they reuse the chemicals?
They reuse all the
I
chemicals.
see.
They purify them.
Right, rather than dumping them in the ground.
But the distillation is very tall, about 35 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
And they on the roof of the. I was working on the roof of the building, but no shelter.
Ah.
So in the winter time and the snow, I was up there all by myself.
Oh my God.
Take care of all the temperature. Make sure that
That was your first job after you got your degrees?
No, that was during the school.
Oh, that was the school.
It's come from my professor.
Just getting through school. That's
Yeah,
just
so I work in a night shift
Ah,
because they couldn't find nine people work. And if I don't take that, I don't have any job.
yeah.
So I have no choice. Just
Yeah.
take that.
Oh, right.
Okay. So then when I graduated with 2 engineering, and I couldn't find job because I was not a refugee yet. Because Saigon was
You were still a
student visa.
Vietnamese citizen.
Yeah, and student
Were you
visa.
supposed to go back?
No, I can go up for my master and all that.
Oh, you can continue education.
But when I graduated, Saigon fell apart,
Oh,
and I become a refugee.
oh.
But become a refugee doesn't mean I can get a job. I have to wait until all the paperwork done.
Did you actually ever go back to Vietnam?
I do it later,
Later.
but not that moment of time.
not
I don't have
that.
any money to go anywhere.
Right.
So what happened is I have to wait for a year before I can get the paperwork to go to work.
Yeah.
So in the time in that year waiting, I was mopping the floor, maintenance work with 20 degree as a janitor. So after 1976, I become a refugee. I applied for a white card and a green card,
Yes.
and then a citizen. 1980, I become a citizen.
Oh.
So what happened is during that time, I worked for odd job until I got a job. So my first job is my professor introduced to me. And I say, Professor, I got a white card now. I can go to work. I don't have a green card, but white card is before the green card.
Right.
So my professor said, okay, I find you a job. I know you very good. So he called Mr. David Koch. You know the Koch brother?
Yes.
The billionaire. David Koch just graduated from MIT with a master in chemical engineering.
Mm.
And he opened his number 139 company. He got 138 company already.
Oh,
So
right.
he opened another
Another
139 at the basement of MIT, Mr. David Koch. So my professor called David Koch, because what happened is the chemical engineering department in UMass is they don't have enough professor, but they have a brand new nuclear reactor.
Oh.
So all the staff from MIT, all professors go to Lowell and teach there. So I actually learned directly from MIT,
Wow.
but without paying the price.
Yeah.
So that was a good deal.
Yes.
So what happened? The professor called David Koch because he at MIT too, and he know David Koch very well because he teach David
Yeah.
Koch. So and then the way he introduced this, I heard it. It was very funny. He said, David, I'm going to introduce a kid from Lowell.
Mm.
But I bet you he can compete with any of your MIT students.
Ah.
So I got a job right away.
Wow.
That was excellent introduction. So I got a job to work for David Koch. He's a billionaire. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I worked for him because I can resolve all the technical problems for him. So everybody labeled me as a pet engineer. I'm his pet. I carry his suitcase. Every time, anywhere he go, I carry his suitcase. And
Wow.
any technical question he asks me.
Wow.
And I respond to all the technical questions. And I worked for him for 13 years.
Mm.
I give him 8 patents.
Wow.
He makes so much money out of me.
I hope he paid you well.
He paid me very well.
Oh, good.
No, the first patent is we work as a contract for NASA.
Yeah.
And they send 6 astronauts in a space station.
Oh.
So every 6 months they supply water up there. But during that time you have to recycle all water
Yes.
for 6 months. Even you brush your teeth, you have to
Yeah.
recycle that. You go to the toilet, you have to recover the water there.
Right.
So I was only like 22, 23. I designed a whole recycling system
For the
for
space station.
6
Wow.
astronauts in the space station.
Wow. Wow.
And David Koch makes so much money out of that. And then the second patent I have is when people have kidney problem, they go to hospital, right? They plug a machine in the kidney dialysis.
Yes.
So the dialysis will separate bad water, bad blood and then good blood
Yes.
to a filter. The filter we call the membrane.
Mm.
I'm the one who invented that.
Wow.
That was 1981.
Wow.
And I don't know if they're still using that or not, but I'm the one that. So he makes so much money on that one
Yeah.
too. So after 13 years, I told David, I said, David, I don't want to work for you anymore. He said, Tim, I treat you so well. Why you want to quit? I say, first, I don't want to make more money for you because you are rich. A lot of people need money than you. You
Yeah.
that's number one. Number two is you treat other people like jerk. Say, I treat you very well. Yes, you treat me very well, but you treat all the other people like jerks. So I don't want to help the jerk.
Yeah.
You know what he said? He said, Tim, I don't care where you go. I buy that company and you work for me again. Can you imagine he say that?
Wow.
But he didn't do that because I don't need a resume.
Yeah.
I got job just by a phone call. I don't need a resume.
So how, again, not that I want to go, but I want to make sure we get to your faith.
This is what happened.
Because our
Yeah.
show's running out of time.
I know, but this happened.
Yeah.
What happened is my life was so nice, so
Yeah.
good, money, all that stuff. Why should I become a Catholic?
Yeah.
Right? God doesn't do that. God say, look, I want you, and you gotta be mine. So what happened is I have a brother. My brother is 2 years younger than I am. He's the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of the 6 kids,
Yeah,
he's in the middle.
he's the middle. And he doesn't work. He doesn't do anything. All his life is just get money from other people and
Did
spend
he
it.
make it to America as
No, I
well?
sponsor him over.
Oh, you sponsored
I
him.
sponsor 80 people come Vietnam.
Oh,
from
from Vietnam after
Over.
the fall of Saigon.
So what happened is I feed him, I take care of him, I wipe his buttons, everything,
Yeah.
take good care of him. So he's only 2 years younger, and he come over here, and he asked me for money. So I keep feeding him, and then my mom keep support him, all that. So he's just a lazy bum, a black sheep in the whole family. So one day I say, look, in 1997, I was 47, and he was 44, 43, yeah, 43. And then he asked me money for a car. He told my mom that he needed a car to go to work.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I give him a car. I give him 6 months insurance, but after that, he had to pay for that. So what happened is, after 3 months, he sold the car. He spent money somewhere else. He'd go back to my mom and ask him for more money.
More money, yeah.
This time, he wanted to ask me for $100,000 to start a restaurant. I say, look, I don't want to give you $100,000 because you can't even handle a 3-hour job. How can you handle a 12-hour job?
Yeah.
So no way I'm going to give it to you. And he said, you don't give it to me, I'm going to shoot your whole family.
This is your brother.
Yeah. And he was a security guard. He
Wow.
got the gun. So I pray, God, I don't want to shoot him, and I want to be shot. I try to avoid draft all my life. I don't want to hold the gun.
Yeah.
So he said, and then he called at 2 o'clock in the morning, threatened to shoot me. So I go out and study how to shoot. I bought 3 guns. One, the Barella, so I could put in my pocket, and the Colt, and the AT-9, which is a semi-automatic machine.
Yeah.
So I say, if he come, I will shoot him.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do that.
Yeah. No.
So I pray God. I pray Buddha. Nothing changed.
Nothing.
I pray all the different people that I know. Nothing changed. And finally, my wife say, by the way, my wife is a devoted Catholic.
Oh.
So and I refuse to become a Catholic. We get married in 1976. So that was 22, 23 years then.
Yes.
And then my wife said, why don't you pray Jesus? And I go to the chapel and say, Jesus, you're the last one I want to pray for you. Get me out of this mess because I don't want to shoot him and I want to be shot at.
Yeah.
Both options is so
Yeah.
bad. I don't want to do any of those. So can you get me out of that? So finally, I have to go to the magistrate for 13 times because he threatened me. I translate to Vietnamese.
Yeah.
And I go to police and they go to the court. At first I go there, they say, he didn't do anything. I'm not doing anything for him.
Yeah.
But after 13 times, the court issued an order to revoke his license
To have a gun.
to have a gun.
Yeah.
So then he go to California, everything peaceful after that. So I say, all right, Jesus,
You
I owe
answered
you a
my
favor.
prayer.
I take you are my Lord now.
Oh.
Then I become a Catholic.
Wow.
1997.
Now, was your wife also Vietnamese?
My wife also.
So she brought up Catholic in Vietnam?
Yeah, she's very.
Because I know there was a large Catholic population.
It's only
in Vietnam.
6%.
Yeah.
It's not a large.
But many of the refugees were Catholics. who
All
came
refugees,
here.
most,
Yeah.
90%
Most of them.
refugees are Catholic because
Catholic.
they know communists very
Yeah,
well.
they didn't want to live under
No.
communism either.
So that is big.
So that
reason.
was your kind of point of Jesus answering this rather desperate prayer
Yes.
in this remarkable way. Have things been okay ever since in terms of your brother? Is he just gone and
He's
out
just
of your
gone.
life?
Yeah, we'll never see him again since 19.
Yeah. So everyone else is safe, and
Yeah.
who knows what's happened to him?
But Jesus,
Yeah.
puts his hand in that, so he
Right.
take care of the whole
So
thing.
did you then actually go through the process of becoming a Catholic?
Yeah, we got baptized in 1997.
97.
Right away.
And then when did you find a call to become a deacon?
That's another miracle.
Yeah. Okay. Well, tell us that.
So what happened is 2008, February 8, 2008. I was perfectly healthy. I have a 2 black belt in karate. One is Shaolin Kempo and one is Aikido.
Ah.
So I'm perfectly healthy.
Yes.
On that night, which is like a New Year night for the Vietnamese, the Lunar New Year.
You're right.
I got home from work at 10:30. I know something wrong with my heart because I know my health very well.
Yes.
So I say, I better call the ambulance. So we call the ambulance. And my heart stopped beating
Wow.
for no reason. Stopped beating. And by the time we get to Lawrence Hospital, they cannot do it. So they send me to the Beth Israel. So between the Beth Israel, before I got on the operation room, I was between 7 and 10 minutes without oxygen.
Without heartbeat or oxygen.
Yeah.
Wow.
So my brain is damaged.
Wow.
So the doctor say, all right, his brain already damaged. Then they do whatever they do. I don't remember what they do, but
Yeah.
then I be in heart stopping for 5 days.
Yeah.
Didn't move at all. So they had to put a pump to pump my blood through it
Oh, wow.
because the heart
So you had
stopped.
basically an artificial heart.
That's right. It's a pump. They're pumping,
yeah,
to
pumping
it.
your blood. to
Because
your
but the brain still have activity,
Yeah.
so they did not kill me yet.
yeah.
So they keep me for 5 days. So in 5 days, I was so many tubes going on to
Yeah,
my body, and I didn't know anything outside. So, but I heard gospel music. I also saw light everywhere,
Oh.
bright light, and also felt the presence of angel.
Oh.
So 3 things. So 5 days later, I woke up. I have a wheelchair ready for me already there. And then my name's on the list of heart transplant.
Yeah.
Because without the heart, I cannot survive. This is the
function,
pump
yeah.
right now. And then my kidney failed because the pump doesn't have enough pressure to push blood through. So my kidney failed.
Oh.
So my name on the list of kidney transplant.
Wow.
And then they took a liter of blood from my stomach out. When I woke up, I say, 3 questions.
Yeah.
Where's the light come from?
Oh.
Is that real or from my imagination? The felt of angel, is that real or from my imagination? And the gospel music, is that from my imagination or it's real? Take me 3 years to figure that out.
Huh. Now, unfortunately, we're just about out of time. I assume you recovered miraculously from this and this near-death experience. Would you be willing, if we continue our conversation in another show, to start from your near-death experience, and we'll journey into your diaconate, okay? Because we're out of time.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
So let's thank you. That's a fascinating journey and all the suffering and privation you've been through, and you're finding life and fulfillment and even God. So I want to hear the end of this miracle, but we're out of time for this show. Thank you.
All right,
Deacon.
thank you
All right.
so much.
Thank you. Look, we're in the middle of this conversation, so we're going to continue it. So I hope you'll tune in next week when we finish this show. And also these shows are posted on YouTube. So just call Wellsprings of Faith, Father Jürgen Liias, Deacon Tam Tran. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Father.
God bless.
God bless you.